Naija YouTube channel. I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. I really appreciate you guys a lot for subscribing to my channel, following me on all of my various on social media handles, and here on Facebook, on Instagram, and here on YouTube. So I appreciate you guys a lot for subscribing to my channel, for supporting me. Yeah, I appreciate you guys a whole lot. So if you are new to my channel, if this is your first time of seeing me, of seeing my beautiful face, yeah, I'm going to say beautiful face because God created me beautiful. So you should be proud of yourself. Yeah, so I'm just trying to give you guys some sort of support. So if this is the first time of coming to my channel, you are highly and very welcome. And please, I will appreciate if you hit on the subscribe button just beside, and then hit on that bell. So you see the bell, just hit on it to get notified whenever I upload a new video. That's just like basically the essence of hitting that bell. So my online classes for this month, registration is actually ongoing right now. So if you are interested in registering for any of my online classes, all you have to do is you just send. So you can see my numbers scrolling through the screen. All you have to do is just give me or rather just send me a message on WhatsApp, and then I would give you updates on how the classes are being done and what it entails. So guys, let's just get started. Today I'm going to be doing a DIY midi off-shoulder gown with open sleeves. So that's actually what I'm going to be showing you how to cut today. This gown is really simple and easy, so I'm going to show you how to cut it and then illustrate to you how you're going to stitch it. It's really simple, quick, and real fast. DIY midi off-shoulder gown with open and sleeves. So let's just get started. So I already have some couple of lines lined out here, so I'm just going to quickly explain the lines to you. So the first line that I have here is my chest line, which is from my shoulder to so after removing the 5 inches for the off shoulder, 8 inches is like standard for chest line, and then my bust line is 10 inches, which is the nipple, and then the under bust is 13 inches, and then I have my waist and line, which is 18 inches, and then from my waistline to my hip line I'm using 8 inches. So you can use 9 inches or 10 inches, depends on how tall the person is, and then the full length. So I'm going to quickly do this. So this dress is like a tube and dress. So if you notice from the top part, is like a tube. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to insert my chest line and measurement. That's what I'm going to use. I'm not going to be making use of my shoulder measurement. I'll use my chest line. So all you have to do is you measure around your chest line. That's your chest circumference. That's the top of your chest. That's the top of your breast. You measure it around, and then you divide your measurement into 4. That's what I'm going to use. I'm not using any shoulder measurement. So I'm just going to take it like this. So this is what I have, divide into 4, and then the next measurement that I'm going to measure out now is my bust line measurement. My bust is 34, so when you divide into 4, you have 8.5. So use your own applicable measurement, 8.5, and then I'll add allowance to it, 1 inch allowance. That's what I'm adding to all of my measurements, 1 inch. And then the next one is the under bust, which is 28. You divide into 4. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to mark out my waist measurements, like I said, which is 7.5, 30. And then I'll insert my hip measurement. And then for this, since this is a midi and gown, the down part is going to be a little bit slimmer, so slimmer. Normally I'm supposed to reduce my hip and line measurement by 2 inches to get the down part, but I'm going to reduce as much as 3 inches or even 4 inches. So what I have here, I'm just going to subtract 3 inches from it, and then I'm going to insert it like this, and then remember to still add your allowance to it. So I'm just going to do this. So at the end of the day, you see what I'm going to have. So I'm just going to mark out all of my measurements now. So I'm going to come back to the top part of my dress now. So from this top part now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to subtract from this top part. This is my chest line. From this top part that is supposed to be the shoulder part, I'm going to subtract 1 inch from that part to create out like a neck line for this. So I'm going to come to this place like this. I'll measure 1 inch depth, and then I'll measure out my shoulder measurement. You could do that without reducing the shoulder measurement, or the chest line measurement. You are just going to reduce what you have here that you brought up here. You just reduce it by 1 inch. So it's going to be like this. This is 1 inch. So it depends on how grip you want that top part to be. So from this point now, I'm just going to curve to do this now. I'm going to mark this out, and then this part, this is that 1 inch reduction. So this 1 inch reduction is just going to slant like this into the chest line point like this. So I'm going to cut it out now. So I'll cut the back and the front together. So for this dress, if you are going to be adding a dart, if you are using a stretchy fabric, there's no need for you to add dart to it. But since I'm going to add dart to it, I'm going to increase my measurement because I'm going to use 1 inch dart. So from my under bust line, from my bust line, under bust line, and then my waistline, I'm going to add 1 inch back into my measurement. So in order not to run into any problem when I take out my dart, so I'm going to add the 1 inch back into this. And then I'll add it back into the main measurement. From this point, I'll come down by 1 inch. And then on this line, I'll go up by 1 inch. Just in order for me to get out a very fitted dart. So I'm just going to join with a straight ruler like this now. So I'll cut the back neckline and the front neckline together. So at the end of the day, I'm just going to keep the back piece on the side, so I will work with the front piece. So here is what we have now for the front piece. So you could see what we have now. So I'm going to use my pins to pin out the darts before we continue. Okay, so I finished pinning out the darts for the dress. So for this kind of dress, if you want to add an elastic to the chest line part, you can decide to do that. Or if you are making use of a stretchy fabric, all you have to do is you reduce your measurement. All of your measurement you can reduce with as much as 2 inches or 1 inch, depends on how stretchy the fabric is. If it is a fabric that is very stretchy, reduce by 2 inches. But if it is not that stretchy, you could do 1 inch. That's the chest line. That's between this your chest line and your shoulder line. Just reduce the measurement so it will fit properly. The next thing we're going to do now, we're going to cut out the sleeve. So in cutting out the sleeve, the major parts where you really need the measurement you need is your round sleeve and circumference. That's just like the basic of what you really need. So that's what we are going to be inserting to this part. All you are going to do, you are just going to increase it with as much as 1 inch, because you could see how the sleeve is actually fixed. So I'm going to take this to the side, and then I'm going to show you how to. So I'm going to show you how to mark out this type of sleeve. So this top part, I'm just trying to straighten it out now before we start marking. That's the part that is going to be my sleeve and circumference, my round sleeve circumference. And my round sleeve circumference is actually 10 inches. So what I'm going to do, you see my fabric is folded into 4 because of the 2 sleeves. So I'm just going to come to this point like this. I'll measure 5 inches, and then I'll add the 1 inch that I'm going to use to stitch it to this point. And then I will measure how wide I want my sleeve to be. That's the width, and then the length of the sleeve. So the length of the sleeve that I'm going to use, I'm going to make use of about 8 inches. So this is 8 inches. That's the length. That's how much length I'm going to use. And then the width that I'm going to use, for the top part, I'll use this 6 inches. That's plus 1 inch, which is 6 inches part. And then for towards the down part, you are just going to, I'm going to measure how wide I want it to be. That is, I'll come to the center like this. I'll come to the center. I'll mark it like this, and then I'm going to measure. So I'm going to use as much as 9 inches. So here's what I'm going to do. So from this point like this, I'm just going to make a curve like this. So I'm making something like a flare, like an A line. I just want you to get what I'm trying to do. I'm making something like a flare, an A line, and then from this point I'm going to give it a really good curve, and that curve will bring me back to the center of my sleeve. So you see what I have here, it's not entirely straight. So this part I'm going to curve also. I don't want it to be sharp. And then for this part, I'm going to dip in this part a little bit. You could do 1/2 inch. So I'm going to cut it out now. So at the end of the day, here's what I'm going to have. I'm just going to keep this on the side and then use this to show you how it is going to look like. So when stitching, you're just going to take, remember that extra 1 inch that we added to it. That's the part that we're going to stitch. When stitching, you're just going to stitch it on this part like this. So I'm going to place it out properly for you to see with the second sleeve. Okay guys, so at the end of the day, here's what we're going to have. So the sleeve, you're just going to fix it like this with just about 1 inch. That's the extra 1 inch that we added. That's what you will use to stitch it to the chest line part. That's from where your chest and line ended, where close to the down part of your armhole. So you're just going to stitch it like that on that point. So this is the front and then this is the back. So you're going to insert the dart and then you stitch. So guys, I've now come to the end of this video illustration. If you find it helpful, please subscribe to my channel, like this video if you find it helpful. Please hit on the like button, and if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. So thank you so much. I'll see you in my next video, and God bless you.